Hey there, movie lovers, and welcome back to Fade to Fact. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful and unforgettable war films ever put to screen, Saving Private Ryan. Released in 1998 and directed by Steven Spielberg, this film didn't just raise the bar for realism in war movies, it redefined the entire genre. From its harrowing opening sequence on Omaha Beach to its emotionally gripping finale, the film manages to be both brutal and deeply human at the same time. What made it so impactful wasn't just the heart-pounding action, but also the painstaking attention to detail. Spielberg and his crew went to extraordinary lengths to make sure audiences felt the chaos, fear, and sacrifice that soldiers experienced during World War II. Critics and audiences alike were stunned, with many veterans remarking that it was the closest thing they had ever seen to the real thing on film. And let's not forget, this movie also introduced us to unforgettable performances from Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, and a stellar supporting cast. But like any great piece of cinema, there's a whole world of behind-the-scenes stories, hidden details, and fascinating choices that made the movie what it is. From secret filming techniques to unexpected casting decisions, there's plenty you probably didn't know about this modern classic. So, buckle up and get ready. Here are 20 things you never knew about Saving Private Ryan. 1. The Omaha Beach scene took a month to film. The film's legendary opening, the D-Day landing at Omaha Beach, wasn't shot in a few days. It actually took Spielberg and his crew nearly a month to capture the brutal 25-minute sequence. Over 1,000 extras were used, many of them actual members of the Irish Army, since the scene was filmed on Ballinesker Beach in Ireland. The meticulous attention to detail, from the sound of bullets hitting water to the sheer chaos of explosions, made it feel unbearably real. Spielberg later admitted it was the most exhausting shoot of his career, but he knew it had to be done right. 2. Veterans were shaken by the realism. When the film premiered, many World War II veterans were invited to screenings. Some had to leave the theater during the Omaha Beach scene because the intensity brought back overwhelming memories of combat. The Department of Veterans Affairs even set up a special helpline after the release for those who felt traumatized by the experience. Spielberg never expected the sequence to have such a visceral impact, but he saw it as a testament to how accurately they had captured the horror of war. 3. Tom Hanks was Spielberg's first choice. When Spielberg was putting together the film, he didn't spend much time searching for the perfect actor to play Captain Miller. Tom Hanks was his immediate first choice, and Hanks accepted without hesitation. Spielberg admired Hanks's ability to embody ordinary men placed in extraordinary circumstances, something the story demanded. The trust between the two was so strong that Spielberg allowed Hanks more freedom on set than most directors usually give. 4. Matt Damon was cast for a reason. Spielberg specifically cast Matt Damon as Private Ryan because he wasn't a household name yet. He wanted Ryan to come across as a genuine, almost ordinary-looking young soldier, someone you might pass on the street without a second thought. Ironically, Damon's star exploded when Good Will Hunting came out right before Saving Private Ryan, turning him into a recognizable face. Spielberg later laughed about the coincidence, saying it unintentionally worked in the film's favor. 5. The cast went through boot camp. Before filming, Spielberg sent the main cast, except for Matt Damon, to an intensive boot camp run by retired Marines. The grueling training included crawling through mud, sleeping in the cold, and endless drills. The purpose was to build camaraderie among the men playing Miller's squad, so their bond on screen would feel authentic. Damon was deliberately excluded so that the resentment the actors felt for missing out on the shared experience would translate naturally into their performances toward his character. 6. Steven Spielberg refused storyboards for the battle scenes. Spielberg is known for carefully planning his shots, but for Saving Private Ryan's combat scenes, he broke his own rules. He refused to storyboard the battles, wanting them to feel chaotic and unpredictable. The cameramen were told to shoot as if they were combat journalists thrown into the middle of the action. This improvisational style added to the documentary-like realism that made the film so groundbreaking. 7. The cinematography was designed to look like newsreel footage. Cinematographer Janusz Kaminski used special lenses and desaturated colors to mimic the look of World War II-era combat photography. They even altered the camera shutter speed to create that sharp, staccato motion of dirt and debris flying through the air. Spielberg wanted the audience to feel like they were watching real wartime footage rather than a polished Hollywood film. The gritty, washed-out look became one of the movie's most defining stylistic choices. 8. Real ammunition was used in training. During boot camp, the actors weren't just firing blanks. To make their training as realistic as possible, they occasionally used live ammunition under strict supervision. This forced them to treat their weapons with absolute seriousness and focus. By the time filming started, their movements, posture, and handling of the weapons looked completely natural, a detail Spielberg considered non-negotiable. 9. The movie sparked a surge in World War II interest. After its release, Saving Private Ryan had a cultural impact far beyond the box office. It reignited interest in World War II history among younger generations. Book sales, museum visits, and even veteran interviews saw a noticeable spike. Spielberg himself said he was proud the film not only entertained, but also educated and honored the sacrifices of those who fought. 10. Spielberg kept the actors in the dark. To maintain authenticity, Spielberg often withheld details from the cast until moments before filming. For example, during some battle sequences, the actors had no idea where explosions would go off. The genuine surprise and fear on their faces weren't just great acting, they were real reactions. This method helped the performances feel raw and unpolished, perfectly fitting the movie's tone. 11. The sound design was painstakingly crafted. Spielberg knew that the sound of battle was just as important as the visuals. Sound designer Gary Rydstrom layered hundreds of effects, from ricocheting bullets to muffled underwater explosions. For the ringing in soldiers' ears, they used real recordings of tinnitus to mimic temporary deafness. The result was so immersive that audiences often reported feeling like they were physically on the beach. The film's sound won an Academy Award, and it's still studied by audio engineers today. 12. Vin Diesel got his breakthrough role here. Before Fast and Furious made him an international star, Vin Diesel was a struggling actor with only a few credits. Spielberg cast him as Private Caparzo after seeing his self-directed short film Multifacial. Diesel's small but memorable role showcased his raw presence, and Hollywood quickly took notice. It was this part that helped launch him into bigger opportunities just a few years later. 13. The script was based on real stories. Screenwriter Robert Rodat didn't invent the story of brothers serving in World War II. He was inspired by the real-life Nyland brothers, 4 siblings who fought during the war. 2 of them were killed in action, and 1 was presumed dead but later found alive. The U.S. military created policies to prevent families from losing all their sons, which became the basis for the rescue mission in the film. This real connection added even more weight to the story. 14. Spielberg wanted viewers to be uncomfortable. From the very start, Spielberg made it clear that Saving Private Ryan wasn't meant to be easy to watch. He wanted the violence to feel shocking, the deaths to sting, and the choices to feel morally heavy. While many war films glamorized combat, this one leaned into its brutality. Spielberg said the discomfort was the point, to honor the reality of war rather than a Hollywood version of it. 15. The movie revived interest in veterans' stories. Following the film's release, countless World War II veterans came forward to share their experiences, many for the first time. Spielberg received letters from soldiers' families thanking him for finally showing the reality they had only heard in fragments. Documentaries, interviews, and books surged in popularity, with veterans opening up to new generations. The movie acted as a bridge between those who lived it and those who only knew war through history books. 16. Tom Sizemore had to earn Spielberg's trust. Daily actor Tom Sizemore, who played Sergeant Horvath, had a reputation for personal struggles. Spielberg gave him a strict condition. Every day before filming, Sizemore had to pass a drug test. If he failed even once, he would be fired and replaced. Sizemore accepted and delivered one of the most grounded performances in the film. Spielberg later admitted it was a risk, but it paid off. 17. The film nearly had a different ending. Early drafts of the script considered ending the movie before the elderly James Ryan's graveyard visit. Spielberg debated whether the framing device added too much sentimentality. In the end, he kept it, believing it gave audiences emotional closure and reinforced the film's message about sacrifice. That choice sparked debate among critics, but many viewers consider it one of the most moving parts of the film. 18. The cast bonded through real hardship. During production, the actors weren't pampered with luxury trailers or easy schedules. Spielberg wanted them to feel some of the exhaustion and discomfort that soldiers faced. They spent long days drenched in cold water, carrying heavy gear and trudging through mud. By the time cameras rolled, their camaraderie and fatigue were genuine, which translated perfectly onto the screen. 19. Saving Private Ryan changed war films forever. After its release, the film set a new benchmark for war movies. Its unflinching realism influenced later films like Black Hawk Down and series like Band of Brothers, which Spielberg also produced. Even video games like Medal of Honor and Call of Duty borrowed heavily from its visual and storytelling style. The ripple effect of this movie is still seen in how war is portrayed in media today. 20. Spielberg shot the film in sequence. Unlike most movies, which are filmed out of order, Spielberg decided to shoot Saving Private Ryan chronologically. He wanted the actors to experience the journey of their characters step by step. This meant that as the squad dwindled and endured more hardship, the cast felt it in real time. The approach was logistically challenging, but gave the performances an authentic sense of progression and loss. And there you have it. 20 things you never knew about Saving Private Ryan. More than just a war movie, it's a film that reshaped how Hollywood approaches history, action, and storytelling. Spielberg and his team didn't simply recreate World War II, they transported audiences into the middle of it, forcing us to feel the fear, loss, and sacrifice in every frame. From the boot camp training to the groundbreaking cinematography, every decision was made with one goal in mind: authenticity. The impact has echoed for decades, influencing not only war films, but also video games, documentaries, and even how veterans' stories are shared with the world. It's rare for a film to be both a critical masterpiece and a cultural touchstone, but Saving Private Ryan achieved exactly that. So, next time you revisit Captain Miller's squad fighting their way across Normandy, remember just how much went into bringing that journey to life. And as always, thanks for watching Fade to Fact. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again as we uncover more hidden stories from the movies you love.